Jeff Hardy had a phone call with WWE that brought him to tears. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why he cried, what the phone call was all about, the backstory, and why I find this to be interesting. Now, I posted this up on Wrestling News Co. because Jeff Hardy's been a guy that he's had multiple WWE runs, right? You had his initial run starting in the Attitude Era after years of grinding, being a jobber, and the most, right? And then he departed in 2002. He had a little bit of issues going on. He went to TNA for a few years before returning to WWE in 2006. His 2006 to 2009 run was absolutely fantastic. I mean, we got to see a Hardy Boys reunion. We got to see his classic matches with Johnny Nitro, a.k.a. John Morrison, and Umaga for the IC title. That was super duper fun, and we also got to see his rise as a main eventer, something in which was always something that fans wanted to see. We just never knew if we were actually going to see it or not. He departs in 2009. He goes to TNA. He has a multiple run in TNA. He only returns in 2017 at WrestleMania, that big surprise at WrestleMania 33 in the ladder match, right, with his brother. They go on and they have a nostalgia tag team title run. And then things went downhill from there. And that leads us into today's video because Jeff Hardy's WWE tenure, it ended in 2021 because they tried to push him as a big act, but he continuously got into legal trouble, right? And that 2021 departure, it was really a sour note because he had walked out of a match during a live event and was released because he refused to go to rehab. His brother Matt, he claimed at the time that a drug relapse didn't cause Jeff to walk out during the match, right? Jeff has had issues with drugs and alcohol and the like. Now, WWE, after releasing this man who was on a 90-day non-compete, they actually tried to bring Jeff back months after this incident happened. And to smooth things over, they're like, hey man, we will put you into the WWE Hall of Fame. And that didn't happen because while his brother Matt was in AEW, Jeff said, look, I don't want a solo induction. I want to go in with my brother. And they're like, well, he's in AEW. And you got to keep in mind, we're talking about a time where AEW, they are about to, and we don't know this, but they are about to bring in the likes of CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole. Like, AEW was on fire in 2021. They did record business that year. And so they're like, we're not bringing in Matt to give him a Hall of Fame induction. He's with the rival promotion. It's not going to happen. And so Jeff is like, bye. And he went to AEW. Now, he departed from AEW earlier this year after really just a lackluster run, right? He was on hiatus for multiple months due to the DWI or DUI down in Florida, and then he got injured, and now they're in TNA. Now, while speaking on Busted Open Radio, Hardy was asked if he felt like he's headed towards a Hardy Boys induction into the WWE Hall of Fame, and he said yes. And he also recalled how when WWE wanted to induct him a few years ago, why he felt it was so important for him to go in with his brother. This is what he'd say. For sure, man. And when I denied it the first time, it didn't feel right. And going in there without Matt, I mean, I cried after that phone call. I was just thinking about all the really cool moments I've given to pro wrestling. I'm proud of it, but it didn't feel right at all. So I just wanted to wait. If I do it, I'm definitely doing it with Matt. It would be a Hardy Boys thing. I just want one ring. Don't want two, which is interesting. Look, did AEW drop the ball with Jeff Hardy? No, I don't think they did. I think it was a combination of Jeff Hardy was not available due to legal or injury-related issues. He is also out of his prime. I mean, the man is much more closer to 50 than he is, 30s. I did not like the nostalgia run. I don't care. We've seen Hardy Boy reunions over and over and over. And I get for a lot of people, that is very interesting. And I understand that they draw a ton of money because of it. But I'm simply not interested in that. I would much, much rather see Jeff Hardy as a singles guy than with his brother, right? And I think Matt has a phenomenal mind for the business, but I also don't think he should continuously go out there and try to do his thing on a high level in a high marquee way. I just don't see him as that anymore. Jeff, I think he still has potential for that, but I think he needs to show that he can still do it. And, since we're on the AEW topic, Tony Khan, he made a bunch of headlines over the weekend talking about how he thinks the ROH brand would benefit from being associated with AEW. And we've seen this where AEW has used ROH talent and titles on their programming, whether it be Dynamite, Collision, or Rampage. Here's the reality of the situation. There has never been more pro wrestling on television or on streaming services than ever. And if you are not having a unique product, no one cares. WWE has 5 hours. No, they have 7 hours of programming every single week across Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. You have Dynamite that also has 2 hours of Dynamite, 2 hours of Collision, and 1 hour Rampage. There's 5 hours. Then you have TNA, and then you have New Japan, and then you have MLW, and then you have the ROH brand, which is behind a paid paywall. So him talking at the post-Death Before Dishonor press conference, talking about the potential cohesion between AEW and ROH, he said, I don't think it's out of the question to say that it's sacrilegious to say that I think it would help grow the ROH brand. If I were to license it, sub-license it, if it was AEW ROH, I don't think it would be crazy thing or sacrilegious or bad. I think it would be good for everybody. I don't. I think you need to let ROH die, or at least turn it into a developmental brand. I honestly think you should close up shop on the ROH brand, create a new, AEW feeder system, whatever name you want on it, and run it like a true, legitimate, developmental, instead of just trying to draw off of a brand that hasn't been relevant in many, many years. I just think that's a mistake. We'll see if he actually does something with it, but I don't know.